live TV via the internet. So my name's Ben Holst. I'm your host tonight, and I think most of the nights. So welcome back. I'm also the sound guy. I am also hair and makeup and location and bartender for this evening. So welcome to the show. We're here with our producer, Jamie Cones, and one of our exciting new things tonight is we're going to see Jamie in front of the camera. He's going to bring us some tech tips. So stay tuned for that. We're excited to see that. And this week was fun on Volume. Saw a lot of cool stuff. One of the exciting shows that we had was our debut from the Tiny Stage down in Miami. Miami is showing up hot. Tiny Stage came in Thursday night. They were showing the open mic series. They do an open mic series every week. So that's off the ground, and we're happy to bring that to you. What's to look forward to from them is they've got a big show this week. So every month they do the Tiny Stage show. This week on the 29th, that will be debuting. So stay tuned for more from Tiny Stage down in Miami, hosted by Danny Baby. And that's volume.com/tinystage. This Thursday is going to be pretty lit. We also have a very exciting... what?
They're already cracking on the set in the chat.
We need a paper towel holder.
What are they cracking about?
Paper towel holder.
We don't need a paper towel holder. What a waste of money is it? Okay, well, send us a paper towel holder, and we'll be glad to put it up there and talk about you next week.
Send a tip.
Good to see you guys. All right, so we'll work on the paper towel holder. And thank you for that, Dos. That's a great... send any comments to amplified@volume.com, be they constructive or creative or destructive. We want to hear them all. At amplified@volume.com. So that's a good one. It caught me off guard. You know, I'm looking at this camera and here's the chat. So we appreciate that. It's good to see you. It's in the mail. Thank you. Please sign it for us, and we will be sure to highlight it and anything else you want us to talk about. So thank you, Dos, for chiming in there. With that said, back to my agenda. So this week I have an actual agenda. It's on the computer. Last time I had it handwritten. And so I do these shows on Sunday, and they're a lot of fun for us. And then I get a call Monday morning from my boss, and he tells me how to do the show. So this is a new thing. Got my old 2008 MacBook here running a document, and I'm trying to read it until paper towel comments come in, and I get a little sidetracked. But anyhow, back on it here. This Thursday, the 29th, we have yet another exciting debut on volume.com. We are going to be hearing from Lightning 100. It is the final showcase of their Music City Mayhem series, which they've been just doing a fantastic job now hosting. So they're our partner up in Nashville. Lightning 100, a fantastic radio station, and one of their missions in the world is to bring new artists into the spotlight, and we couldn't agree with that more. So this week, we're going to be seeing and hearing from, live on volume.com, Thursday night, Philip Michael Scales, Emily Hackett, Nordista Freeze, and Lombardi Band. Fantastic groups. Been listening to them. Jamie and I were jamming to them while we were setting up, and it's going to be a tough race. I have no idea what's going to happen, but my boss and founder, Greg Nacron, and I are going to be going up to Nashville to actually judge. So it's going to be very, very exciting. And then we're going to be hopefully getting some interviews with the artists and the winners. But be on the lookout for them. Volume.com/lightning100. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday night, the 29th as well. So that will be a new Volume debut up there in Nashville. So we got, Caffeine Kloss is in the house. And then that's exactly right. We are going to be having a boys' trip. I haven't been out of town in quite some time, and we're really looking forward to going up to Nashville. It's an exciting place, and it's an exciting time for music, and especially streaming, to be going up there with such a fun product to talk about. So anyhow, I probably missed a number of things in my opening monologue, all of which I will hear about first thing tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, Greg. But I want to introduce you now to my first guest this evening. Is a gentleman by the name of Garrett Cathcart. He is the executive director of Missionrollcall.org. He happens to be my neighbor, and also happened to be available on short order on a Sunday night to come over here. We're here in Atlanta, coming to you live. So Garrett, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, my man. This is awesome.
I appreciate you helping me get ready. Garrett also assisted a little bit in hair and makeup. We gave each other the check. But anyhow, welcome, Garrett. We see, yes, this is live, Gloria. We see you out there. Dave Daniels showing up, Black Hills Music. I think we got a nice rush from him. There he is with 155 viewers. Welcome from Dave's show. Good to see you guys out there. I know it says replay. We need to figure that out. We saw that happen right after we started, and I am running this thing. So if you're in the chat and you can tell me where to turn the replay off, Eloria, I know you're a pro because we see you out there, and you're very much a regular streamer. So let us know. It's on my profile. Great. So we're gonna look for that here. But anyhow, we'll figure that out. And I can do that while Garrett's talking.
That's absolutely true.
So Garrett is an unlikely... Now I'm going to be sidetracked this whole time trying to turn off the replay, and I should know where this is. Is it in the...
This is crowdsourced service. It's happening right now.
Is it in the bio section? This is going to be some real time. This is how we know it's live, because everybody out there in the chat is going to help us turn off the replay.
Caffeine Class likes the scarf. That was my question. Is that an ascot you're wearing? A Paisley ascot?
That's a great question. This is a scarf that is oftentimes referred to as an ascot, but when I pull it up over my face, it becomes a very low-level, ineffective mask. So it's kind of a convertible piece of attire that I is turning into my signature, right? Broadcast
functional
guest.
Fashion.
Where we are. Okay, Eloria, Streamer of the Year Award is going to you for helping us sort this out. We're going to change the title, Broadcast tab. Where's our title? Where is that? I'm burning airtime here trying to do this. All right. We're looking at you. Broadcast, top left.
I love the fact that...
There it is.
This is awesome.
Yes, live show on air right now. Save. Bam. We're done.
Wow.
We're getting you a t-shirt. I don't care what it costs. All right, guys. Welcome back to the show. So that was great. No, that shows you really how amazing our community is. And the chat feature is working. Unbelievable. Garrett.
Ben.
My first guest of the show tonight. So, you're an unlikely songwriter.
I would say that's exactly correct.
And you served quite a bit in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I was a cavalryman. We no longer have horses, but I was in the cavalry for about 9 years, 2 years in Iraq and a year in Afghanistan, commanding some folks over there.
That's a heavy gig.
A heavy gig. A lot of stories in Iraq and Afghanistan, but ended up commanding 3 combat outposts and using tribal militia forces to fight the Taliban in Afghanistan. So, yeah, a lot of stories.
That sounds like the Cliff Notes to me.
It's the Cliff Notes, yeah.
Well, thank you for that. It's a heavy gig, and we were so Garrett's also my neighbor, and I guess it was last week we were there's Daddy Dave.
Thanks,
Saying
Daddy
hello.
Dave. Appreciate
Yeah,
it. It was my honor, actually, and you're worth it.
Good to see you in the chat, sir. So you and I have very similar roles in life, which we kind of discovered. So you're the executive director of Missionrollcall. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, so there was an idea a couple of years ago. I was actually at a ranch in Montana at a campfire, and something about a campfire, people start to talk and they get a little more open. And I happened to be there with a Medal of Honor recipient, the first living Medal of Honor recipient since Vietnam, a guy with a lot of money, some other folks, and we were all talking about why veterans from the Iraq and Afghan wars weren't joining kind of the legacy veteran organizations that, think of the VFW and the American Legion, these spaces where you drink beer and tell stories and they do amazing things. But we got to talking, and I kind of was like, we should do things with storytelling and social media. That's how we scale. And a few months later, they said, well, let's do it. And I'm like, I don't know anything about social media or technology or digital stuff. And they're like, you'll learn.
Neither do I, obviously.
And so, long story short, we've grown this organization in 2 years to over 1 million followers on social media, and we've got over 1 million phone numbers too that when members sign up. So we can text people poll questions by zip code, which is also by congressional district. And so the ability to communicate directly with veterans and their families and get feedback, and then we take that to lawmakers, right? To send it to congressmen and senators. And but the other part of that is we grow a social media audience by telling stories, right? And so our content is filming veterans and asking questions and going, we just got back from the Navajo Nation and interviewed a bunch of female Navajo Nation veterans, which is incredible. And so part of that is to change perceptions of veterans in this country, right? I think a lot of folks think military veterans tend to have, they're all have post-traumatic stress and are alcoholics and all these things. And so we want to change perceptions and then grow our audience. And so it's been a wild ride in the last 2 years where I'm learning about social media and learning about content, and then I testified in front of the Senate and the House this year for the first time.
And you've become a director, like working on video.
Well, we hired an incredible filmmaker named Kenny Gamblin, who is a documentary filmmaker. So now we have a movie maker that films these interviews, and we tell stories. And so
and you guys have a small office here in Atlanta.
Yeah, a small office, and the guy that runs the show, Patrick Griffith, is our operations guy, now program director. So it has been an incredible learning curve, but what an honor to tell stories for a living of some incredible people, and then ask people their opinion and take that to policymakers. And so it's a weird concept. It's it's an innovative concept.
Pretty progressive for that space, right?
I call it crowdsourced public policy, right? We ask 1 million people their opinion, and we take the people making decisions and say, what do you think? So it's been pretty special.
Well, congrats on the gig, man.
Thank you.
It's been fun. I remember when you were doing the campaign initially, when you started to get all those, to get contact with everybody.
Yeah.
And just little challenges and stuff that you're, putting up against your network and your friends and everything. So it's been really fun to watch that grow. So, in the spirit of storytelling and songwriting, you had an event that you were doing years ago for Team Red, White, and Blue. And you, I can't remember exactly how it came up, but we've been talking about wanting to do something with songwriting and veterans and how to tell stories. And I think was it a camp out or something? But
it was a leadership development camp for Team Red, White, and Blue at Camp Southern Ground, which is Zach Zambrand's place that he has here in Georgia.
Beautiful camp just south of town.
And there's something about storytelling that is, getting veterans to express things from their service, right? Combat or non-combat. And so when you said, let's write a song, I was like, I'm not really a songwriting kind of guy.
Yeah.
And that's where you said, let's just sit down and talk. And that became a song. So.
Well, you kind of threw me into the mix on this program, and I said, well, geez, if I'm pitching a songwriting program to Zach Brown's camp that serves combat veterans in this Warrior Week, and I'm pitching this program, well, I better damn well be able to write a song with somebody who's seen a few things.
Yeah.
And you were nice enough to jump in, and basically we sat down for an hour or so, as I remember it.
Yeah.
And you helped me write what I think is one of the most powerful songs I will ever write. And this is a song, so Garrett, if you know him and you love him like I do, he likes to joke. He likes a good joke, and he's really sharp with words. So when we were sitting down, there's a lot of stuff we could have written about, but we got to talking about food. And I was asking questions about what it's like to, what do you eat when you're out there on a deployment, and you're in the woods or in the desert, and what is that like? And we started talking about food, and Garrett mentioned the MRE, the meal ready to eat. I don't know much about an MRE. I know what they are. I kind of know what they look like. But I asked him, well, geez, what's your favorite MRE? And he lit up. Just lit up, and he was like, oh, well, the chili macaroni. That's the best MRE ever made. I don't know, how could you even ask me that question?
Plus, it's the accessories that come with it. But yeah, it's a chili mac. But yeah.
So, well, tell me about tell me about the chili mac MRE and why it's so special to you.
Food is always community, right? We've had dinners together, and it is about connecting. But even in the Army, when you're in the field or in combat, and you don't have time to eat, or you get maybe 10 minutes, you have a tiny little brown bag.
Well, hey, we actually have one right here. Oddly enough, so this is an MRE. This is a meal ready to eat. This is not the the chili mac MRE. This is pork sausage patty,
All
maple
organic.
flavored.
That's not true. Those have like a 10-year shelf life, and they're each like 6,000 calories.
So the chili macaroni is
It
your
tastes
favorite.
the best, and it comes with jalapeno cheese and M&M's as dessert. But like, anytime you get a crack open MRE, you start trading accessories. But yeah, I mean, when you ask a question about food, I mean, everyone, it brings you back to times when either you're rushing to eat because you don't have time, you're in combat, or you're in training and you get 10 minutes to eat your next meal. And so, I mean, what a visceral experience to think about the meals you eat in the most stressful times of your life. And you have such an incredible ability to like pull on threads of storytellings and questions. I said MRE, and you ask a bunch more questions, and we finally get to the best MRE, which is chili mac. And then you ask what comes with the chili mac, and that became part of the song too. But I mean, it is the ability to share a meal with some folks that from all walks of life. Mm-hmm. You're trading stuff, you're sharing stuff. It's special, right? And so, food connects us to a lot of memories in life, growing up and otherwise. But you don't really think about until you leave the military MREs. There's just like something, it's a necessity.
Well, you don't just get them out,
Yeah.
once you're out, right?
And so, yeah, it's pretty cool to sit back and reflect on field rations, right? That's what they are. Mm-hmm. And they come in high caloric intake, and they have ingredients to increase vitamins and also not make you go to the bathroom because you don't have time. I mean, they're
binding agents.
Yeah,
maybe
binding, whatever you call them, right? And so, and it was cool to think back and reflect, and then that started us down other stories, and but it started with a meal, and then friendships, and then heartache, and then moving on, and so, but the memory starts with sharing field rations with guys, and field training, and then in combat. So yeah.
Well, and the MREs that people prefer is kind of a polarizing. Like, you've sent me some things over the years, so just
there's a lot of arguments on the best ones, right? And
various memes, right?
Yeah.
And certain opinions. It's just like a restaurant. Like, oh God, you go there for that? No way, I would never.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a couple. For those of you that may not be familiar with some terms, what was really fun about writing this song with you is really for me was learning some of the jargon and some inside terminology that for me I would never understand at first glance, but for you was a very important part of the story. So I would like to trade or to share a couple of those things. So there's a term in the song called fobbits. Are you allowed to talk about what a fobbit is?
Well, sure.
Yeah. Tell us what a couple of these. I'm going to bring out a couple of these, and you can tell us about it.
There's a deep inherent pride in the ground fighter, right? We live in outposts in Iraq. We lived in a burned out paper factory. I mean, it's incredibly Spartan and rough living, sleeping on cots, eating MREs, 3 meals a day. But you go back to these super FOBs, forward operating bases, and they have these beautiful dining facilities with buffets and ice cream and omelet stations, and of course you're resentful because you're not only are you exposed to danger much more, you're patrolling every day, you're doing operations every evening to these kill capture missions of high value targets. Every person in the military has a job, absolutely, but of course you blow your chest up when you're sleeping in the dirt in North Baghdad and go home to the big FOB once a week. And so we called with somewhat of disdain the folks that live on the FOB fobbits, right? Yes, we thought we were better than them. And that, as I've gotten older and talked about emotions, even gone to therapy, right? Everyone's got a role and things are hard. But when you're in the thick of combat and you go to the super FOB and people are have showers and hot meals, you know what? There's a tension there, right? And so we call them fobbits. Those that lived on big bases with hot showers and good food.
Okay, so we got fobbits. And I don't know if we've got any fobbits in the chat, but if you are, let us know.
I still love you. Thank you for all you do.
We still love you.
Venom Hammer, what'd you do? You're a veteran.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Venom Hammer is into some serious stuff.
I still love you, Venom Hammer. I still love you.
I love you. It's good to see you.
What was your MOS? What service?
There's a short delay. So when you hear from, by all means, he'll let us know. So there's another term in here I want you to talk about, and then we'll get into this.
Okay.
Ranger pudding.
Oh, the RAF. Good for you, buddy. I love some RAF guys. Father Brits. Good dudes. Ranger pudding. Ranger pudding is a concoction. So there's not many ingredients in this brown bag, and so you learn how to mix them together and make new things, right? And so I learned this in Army Ranger School, and must say I don't have Ranger's tab. I'm not a Ranger, but I tried. Ended up breaking my leg. But you get inside one of these bags is a tiny little bag of cocoa powder. If you can get hot water, you can make yourself some hot cocoa. And then there is this dehydrated bread substance that lasts for 10 years. You break that up, you put that into the cocoa powder.
Okay.
Then you find a coffee creamer packet, pour that in there, add some water, stir it together. You have some de facto chocolate bread pudding. Not the tastiest, but it's a tiny little treat in the middle of nowhere, right?
It's a little treat and a little slice of variety.
You feel like a little chef, right? Like you're mixing together ingredients, you're making new things. It's pretty cool.
Little improv. Well, I am extremely proud to debut this song to the world this evening. This is Chili Mac MRE, and there's a good chance I might not make it all the way through it because this song really means a lot to me, and I'll never forget the first time I ever played it for Garrett after we kind of put it together. But it's an honor to play it for you and to play it for everybody here tonight. And the Volume community, I will say, has been amazing because I've had a number of challenges, like people saying, "All right, dude, when are you going to play? When are you going to play?" So.
Is this your first time playing on your show?
This is the first time, but like, there's no better song that I would be more proud to play for the world. This is Chili Mac MRE, written by Garrett Cathcart and presented by me. How to cook field training, paired our Copenhagen with pound cake and Ranger pudding. We traded night shifts for chocolate discs, and some call them the good old days. We paid our way with culinary currency, trading Skittles and spaghetti for inflated ravioli. Brother, I'll lay it all down and let you lean on me. But the strongest spoon in the world can't pry me away from my Chili Mac MRE. Grandma's cookies and a Maxim magazine. What's a guy gotta do for some jalapeno cheese? We got Bobbits eating ice cream and all 31 degrees while I'm out here praying on my hands and knees. St. Peter, I'd like a table for two anywhere in section 60. Sir, there's plenty of room. How may I split the fee? Oh, I'll pick this one up. This one's all on me. Won't you please bring us two of your finest Chili Mac MRE? Yeah, Chili Mac MRE. Made it out alive as far as I can tell. Upgraded fatigues to starch shirts and a safer kind of helm. Oh, some would say I've got it made, but between you and me, yeah, I trade it all for a Chili Mac MRE. Oh, I trade it all for a Chili Mac MRE. Yeah, Chili Mac MRE. Yeah, Chili Mac MRE. That was awesome. Thanks so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Cathcart of missionrollcall.org. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks you, my friend. It is a real honor. This is awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. You'll hear more from Garrett at one of these shows. We are going to actually do an unboxing video of a Chili Mac MRE. We tried to get our hands on one today.
We'll make some Ranger pudding, you know?
Yeah, we'll make some Ranger pudding, so stay tuned for that. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is a debut performance from our very own producer, Jamie Cones. He's going to be bringing you some tech tips. So we pass this to Jamie Cones.
Hey, that does work. How are you doing?
We got it.
Ben's producing now. Pull up my notes here. Hi, I'm Jamie, producer here at Amplified, also a tech junkie, and from time to time I thought I'd step in front of the camera to share some of that knowledge with all of you out there in Streamville. It is so weird being on this side of things. Really, it's crazy. So one of the first things you can do to improve the quality of your stream is add good light. You know, every stream is image, and light creates great images. And one of my favorite lights, there's all sorts of them, LED panels, strips, spots, and these cool T8 tube lights, these are made by Quasar Science. They're aluminum and plastic and dimmable. Look at that. Yeah, they come in two. Nice. They come in two colors, color temperatures that is. So you get a nice, this is a soft white, it's a 3000 degree Kelvin. There's also a daylight balanced one at I think 5600 or 5600 Kelvin. The problem is these come in at about $75 each. They're lightweight, easy to rig up and just have a simple attachment, but for that price, it's going to take a lot of amps to get out of your grandma's basement buying those kinds of lights. So I did some research and found an alternative for you to try to make it easier to get this kind of lighting in your home studio. So the first thing you got to do is you got to go out and you got to find, and I got these at Home Depot. Where it is? Oh, there it is. That was probably pretty loud, wasn't it?
Not too bad.
Okay. This is just an LED dimmable T8 replacement from Home Depot. Costs about $12 and made by a company called Togled with 2 G's. I'm trying to switch in. There we go. Oh. Look at that. So this is the Quasar, and this is the $12 version. But you still need the cool little connector. And let's see if I unplug that. This is the, oh, we're not doing this really bad. This is the connector from Quasar. It just clips onto the end. But even just these connectors will run you about $15 a piece, which is just too expensive. So an extensive and exhaustive search of Amazon came up with these. These are just some T8 connectors and a $1.99 plug. There's a black version and a white version. You just strip the ends. There's some screws inside to connect them together. I've done this one already. And it clips on to the end just like this. So just like the $75 version, only less than 20 bucks. You can put them on a little stand, put this right up above your computer monitor or whatever you're using, with maybe your camera right underneath it, and just a very simple voltage dimmer, again from Home Depot, will get you going. Hey, that's really bright. My monitor's over there. Anyways, the big long tube will give you a nice soft light across your entire scene, giving you lots of options for camera placement. If you're interested and want to know where to find all these good parts and bits to make these, you can find them on my website, gigatize.com, under the tech tips. back to you.
Yeah, we got some questions in the chat.
Oh.
Is the stand from Home Depot too? Where do you
No, this is a simple light stand from Amazon, I think. It just you can buy light stands. You can mount it to a tripod. These are some T8 clips. These are in the shopping list too. $1 or $2 for 10 of them, I think. Just throw something together and mount it up there. I mean, these are so light. These weigh less than probably 6 ounces. You could duct tape them to the top of your monitor if you wanted. That's the great part about it. They run really cool, so they're not hot. You can run them for hours and they won't generate any heat. Anybody else in chat? No?
Yeah.
I need a monitor over here.
We got some claps. We're saving $50.
Right, so for about $15 a piece, there we go.
What do you think the overall savings is on that rig versus the over-the-counter?
For a set of 4, I paid $65 total. So $75 a piece for the Quasar version. These aren't going to hold up to every day. The Quasars are aluminum and some pretty hefty build there. They're made for touring and moving and setting up all the time. If you're a home studio, you don't need all that. So this will work.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, and gigitize.com if you want the shopping list. And we're going to turn it back over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the exciting part of the show where I run into my Zoom room and I'm about to call the amazing Amelia Rose. And she is going to chime in and tell us what she's got going on, some really exciting stuff for this week, in fact. And so I'm going to run in there, give her a buzz, and stay tuned for Amelia Rose. We'll be right back in seconds. Thanks for joining us. Hello. There's the person I've been listening to all week. I've spent probably a solid 3 hours watching you jam all week long on a couple different streams. And I do have to say, and this is a very honest thing, is it's like I feel like a little bit starstruck because, it's one thing to watch from afar and to hit you in the chat and to enjoy that experience. But now I'm like, oh man, I'm on a real conversation with this person.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. This is awesome.
So you have been streaming now solid for like a year. Is that right?
Yeah, so I've been streaming since the shutdown happened. I just kind of dove into a bunch of different live streaming platforms and kind of fell in love with connecting with people, with playing my songs for people. I found that people actually liked what I was doing, which was really cool and something I hadn't really experienced much before. So
yeah, what a thought, right?
Yeah, right? People listen to music live. Wow.
You got into all this performing and playing pretty early. What was it like going from some of those normal stage experiences and then into basically controlling your own venue? Like, tell me a little bit about what that progression has felt like for you.
Well, I think something that I love about live streaming and having my own say in like what songs to play or what I'm doing is that you get to really create your own stream culture in a way. Like, we have a special way of ending every stream with like a little virtual hug. We've had like a mushroom frog thing, which is a whole other separate thing. But I think what makes it different is that like you get to connect with people in real time. Like when you're performing on a stage, like on a physical stage, you don't really get to know everybody's story who's in the audience. But when you're live streaming, while you're singing, someone can type something like, wow, this song makes me think of this really specific memory, or like, I relate to this song. I don't know. There's like these in real time reactions that you wouldn't normally get if you were performing on a physical stage.
That is an amazing perspective, because inside of this past year where everyone has felt so disconnected from the traditional experience, what I'm hearing you say is even at a distance, you feel more connected to your audience.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've been performing for a long time, but I've never known my audience the way that I know my audience through streaming. What's
it like to have regulars, or how does that work? Because you're pretty prolific in how much you broadcast. Like you're very active out there. So yeah, what's that experience like for you?
It's magical. I try to give back to the people who come to my streams all the time. I try to give back to them even the slightest bit of what they give to me, but I don't even think they understand how much it matters to me that they come to every stream and always hype me up in the chat. And then even they're so welcoming to new viewers, and they,
Right.
they bring them into our little family, and they're like, they ask each other questions, and it's a community,
It seems like it. Even the handful of times that I've popped in and out of your shows, it sure as hell does feel good to be recognized. And like, it's such a great experience. It's almost intimidating to jump into a stream, because there might be times when I just might want to sit in the back of the room, or proverbially, and then I'll get in and it's like, oh man, she saw me. Like, I gotta hang out for a minute now, and at least listen to a couple songs and see what she's up to. But you're so great at that engagement. Like, did you work at that when you first started, or how did that develop for you?
I don't really know. I think I kind of learned live streaming because it at the time was the only thing, I don't mean to get dark, but it was like one of the things that kept me waking up in the morning. It was like, it was all I had, And so I not only would entrench myself with my streams, but I would go into other streamers' things, see what was working for them. And I just kind of became infatuated with the whole thing. And I love talking to people. I'm honestly, in person, I'm a little shy and a little awkward, but like on the internet, it's so fun because it's like, oh, like there's that person and like they're new here. Welcome. Oh my God. But I think as a streamer, you just kind of develop your own, whatever you're comfortable with, like how you're comfortable saying hi to people and your own culture to the whole thing.
And people can take it or leave it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that attitude. How do you deal with funky usernames?
Oh gosh, I try to read them in my head first.
Okay, while you're playing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, when I first started streaming, I wasn't able to look at the chat while I was singing. I actually would tell people in advance before I started singing, like, by the way, if you comment anything in the chat, I won't see it, because I used to have this really bad, or I guess it's not bad, but it's just something that I deal with where I sing with my eyes closed. I get really into the song and I just like, I don't know. Nothing else matters to me other than the music, And when I started video streaming, I watched it back and I was like, oh, like I look like I'm not even knowing that I'm live streaming.
Right.
But once I started being able to like read the chat and stuff, it helped me kind of open my eyes and let people in a little bit more. It kind of felt like a safety blanket to close my eyes. But yeah, sometimes with the usernames, I try to read them in my head before I say something out loud, just in case their username is like, I don't know, a bad word or something. I don't say it out loud without thinking,
Right, because some of them are tricky. I've seen some very inventive usernames out there for better and worse. And you're right. If you just kind of go through the motions without actually internalizing what those little letters mean.
Exactly.
How do you, and I believe you have some pretty active and amazing moderators. How do you develop that relationship with a moderator, regardless of who it is? Because one thing I've been trying to educate people on is just how to develop that relationship and what a moderator even is. How do you assign somebody that role? How do you entrust somebody with basically your, being helping you host the party? Walk me through a little bit about how that is developed.
One of my moderators is always my mom.
Perfect.
Full trust, I know she's not gonna kick everybody out of my room. But the other people who I've assigned as moderators are, again, like regulars who I've known for almost a year now, a lot of them.
Sure.
And I know that they only want the best for me. And a lot of the times when I'm streaming and singing, like I can't see what's going on in the chat, so they need to take care of something before I can even see it.
Right.
So moderators are super important in the streaming community. If you don't have anyone to assign as a monitor, like grab your best friend, grab an acquaintance from school, grab a teacher if you have to. Like you have to get a moderator,
a neighbor, a roommate, whatever.
Or another thing that I kind of advise people to do also is like if you see a streamer in your chat, like a streamer who you've been to their streams, you can probably assign them as a moderator. Just ask them first, but they'll know not to kick everybody out of your room.
Got it. How does that work technically? Like, does the moderator see a chat? Like, before, or is it just how do you actually, and I'm sure it's different from platform to platform,
Yeah.
but like let's say for volume, for instance, like how do you actually assign somebody or like technically do that?
You can right click on the username and then it says
okay.
assign as moderator. And then once you do that, they get a little orange username or like a red username. And that means that they're the knights in shining armor. They're taking care of, they're protecting the
gatekeeper.
castle. Yeah.
The door person.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Honestly, I never knew it was that easy. And I'm not just saying that.
Easy.
Cool. I'm going to find some moderators out there. That's great.
I volunteer if you need one.
All right. No, there you go. All right. Case in point. All right. Well, I'll hit you up for that. So tell me a little bit about this single. What does it mean to release a single? You're about to do that, right?
Yeah. So I have a single coming out this Thursday at midnight, which is really exciting, a little bit scary because I haven't had a single come out in quite a few months.
Okay.
But it's putting a little bit of yourself out there, all of my songs are based off of real life events, like real things that have happened to me or things I've witnessed. So it's kind of like, publishing a journal entry, so it's like, oh, do I really want to air out my dirty laundry? And then it's like, oh, okay, I guess I will. But there's something really freeing about putting out music and learning that people want to listen to them. And I also really like seeing the creative playlist names. Because I see those. I see them when they add my song to a playlist. I see the funky little titles and things. And one of my favorites, cool. One of my favorites for Vessel was songs to listen to on the rooftop. I was like, oh my god. I don't know if it's like a sunset thing or I don't know, but there's always some really sweet things that people add my playlist to, which is nice.
I would say that if you're making it to a rooftop jam playlist, you're getting somewhere in life.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the bottom line right there.
Certainly.
As I understand it, you produce your own material. How does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, produce...
is this where you do it? Like what we're looking at right now? Is this your space lab? Okay.
No, but I do use this keyboard. This keyboard actually my fans bought for me, which was incredible. I still have so many people that to say thank you to every time that they come into the chat. I'm like, by the way, thank you. But yes, I produced all my songs myself. This next single, my dad plays guitar on.
Nice.
Which is really special. So I'm really excited about that. But I produce all my own songs, mostly from my basement. Okay. I have a studio set up there. And when I'm producing a track, I always start out with piano, drums, vocals, and sorry for the Discord notifications. I'll start over with that if you want.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Now you can tell me what Discord is.
Why is it still going on? Hold on a second. So when I start producing a song, I always start with the drums, the piano, and just like a really rough vocal. And then I kind of build it from there. I'm a firm believer in only add an instrument if it has emotional impact to the song.
Okay.
I worked with someone and he kind of taught me that. And I don't know, it really resonated with me because at the time I thought I was maybe overproducing my songs, but then I was like, actually, my songs are about a lot. They're about really intense emotions, like, so what? It doesn't sound like, Billie Eilish or someone with like minimal production, like, but intentional still, but like, I don't know, my songs are about very intense, chaotic kind of feelings. So for them to have a lot of intentional production that is very messy and a lot is kind of important to me in that way.
Well, it seems to me like that would just offer like artistic reinforcement.
Yeah.
On what that feeling is supposed to be. Sometimes people might not hear the lyric, but they'll feel the feeling. And maybe the second or third time they hear the song, they'll get the lyric and go, oh, wow, okay, yeah, this all makes sense.
Yeah, like part of how I produced Vessel, my dad was pressing the record button while I was doing the vocals.
Okay.
Because I didn't have time to run back and forth to the little booth back to the computer. And I was like, just get like 12 tracks for the poetry section. He was like, what? Why do you need 12? I was like, I want there to be so many voices, And I think it turned out really cool, and I'm really proud of it. And it does sound chaotic, and like there's lots of voices and things. So
I love it. Tell me about the process for Goliath, because that is your new song.
yeah.
And what was that like? I mean, no spoiler alerts, but you know.
So like my other songs, it always starts out as piano vocal. I'm not sure how I came up with the melody that goes into my whistle register and then back down. I don't recall how that happened. But when I was recording it, I really wanted a very different sound than the rest of my songs. This song, I don't know, I just wanted it to speak for itself. You know, I wanted it to be completely kind of independent of some of my other projects and things. And I was like, I want guitar on the song. But I unfortunately cannot play guitar to save my life. I think my hands are too small and maybe too chubby. I don't know, but I can't play guitar.
Yet.
And yeah. And so I asked my dad to play on the track, and he came up with some really cool guitar stuff. And then I did some like distorted piano.
Okay.
And there's also, I added poetry into the single, which is not in the live version. So that'll be really exciting for people to hear for the first time.
Cool. So yeah, there's a bit of an evolution in what you've been doing and now and moving forward.
Yeah.
I love that. What's it like bossing around your dad in the studio? Or, you know, like, because I know my father is also a musician and a great poet, and we've collaborated on a handful of things. And he's also a hard ass, and he doesn't let me do anything that sucks. And so, whether I know it in the moment or not, but you know, he's patient. So like, we have a good thing going, but it's not like that for everybody. But anyhow, what's it like collaborating with your dad?
Well, I learned everything I know how to do from my dad, even like writing songs. Like when I was 9 or 8 years old, I think it was my eighth birthday. My dad got me a little kid's guitar, and he taught me how to write songs. He was like, you need a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, a bridge, like the whole thing.
Oh yeah, he gave you the code.
Yeah, the code. So I love working with my dad, and it's just, there's something special about a family dynamic like that, and I'm really glad he was able to be on this one.
Thanks for sharing that. I think that's a great little Easter egg to have in a song to look out for. So that's cool. So as that song comes out, and now here we are in this sort of distance performance space, what are you looking forward to next, or what are some ways that you might be working to push the envelope, or you know, look into the future? What are you excited about?
So much.
Yeah.
I have a lot of projects I'm working on. I have this whole story world thing that I've begun. Goliath is just the first of many things that are in the works. Things I can't talk about yet. But
of course. No spoiler alerts. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I'm also excited to be streaming on Volume. You know, I've got my nightly show, and I'm trying to learn some more songs for that too. So any requests, I'm always open.
How do people send you requests, or how does that work technically or otherwise?
They can send them to me through my Instagram at whoisaMeliaRose, or our Discord server too, which you can find on my bio on Volume.
Some of our viewers may have seen this, but last week you and Ari Miller pulled an amazing stunt, and you guys jammed together on Volume.
Yep.
How like, I'm sort of technical, you know, I can hang, but like, how did you guys pull that off? Because it was truly amazing. I was lucky to catch it. How did you pull it off? What did that feel like for you?
I don't know how we pulled it off. If I'm being honest, between multiple Zooms at one point, and Ari actually lent me an interface, and my dad was helping us too with the analog stuff. And, you know, it was really difficult because my whole setup is pretty analog. Like,
yeah.
It's, you know, and then Ari over here is like digital central. So it was like really hard to get them to kind of line up together. But overall, it was really cool. And I think we'll be doing some more of that soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amelia Rose, and look out for Goliath, which is going to drop this Thursday night.
Thursday night at midnight. So
awesome.
It'll be premiered on Volume also.
Thank you so much, Amelia, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye. Hi, my name is Amelia Rose, and the first song I'm going to be singing for you all tonight is called Goliath. It's the new single that's coming out this Thursday but I'm going to do an acoustic version. This song is about how people impact you, whether it be for positive or for negative. You know, every little bit that you encounter with someone matters to you. And I hope that you like it. I'm quiet and bold. I'm a sorrowful soul who doesn't dare look towards the light. I bet you thought I was less than I am. I bet you thought I'd forget you by now. But I can still recall the taste upon your tongue and hear the words that fled upon it as I'm yours to die with, Goliath. Oh, my Goliath, bark is stronger than your bite, his heart is heavier than your might is. Oh, my Goliath, bark is stronger than your bite, his heart is heavier than your might is. I'm sinful and cold when I'm threatened the most, but I always regret it. I bet you thought I was less than I am. I bet you thought I'd forget, but I can still recall the taste upon your tongue and hear the words that fled upon it as I'm yours to die with, Goliath. Oh, my Goliath, bark is stronger than your bite, his heart is heavier than your might is. Oh, my Goliath, bark is stronger than your bite, his heart is heavier than your might is. I'm bitter and bold, I'm glittering gold, I've lost control and I need your on my tender neck. Don't you forget the love you claimed to me. I'm running in soul to be the most, I've lost control and I need you on my tender neck. Don't you forget the love you claimed to me. Whoa, aren't you divine? It's your own damn fault you lost your mind and I lost mine. 'Cause I'm yours to die with, Goliath. I'm bitter and bold, and that's called Goliath, and the produced version of that will be coming out this Thursday at midnight. I'm very, very excited. The next song I'm going to play for you guys is called You're Not a God, which I'm going to play the produced version of because it's out on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you get your music from. I produced it myself, recorded it, and it's called You're Not a God. I wrote it about a very narcissistic friend that I had for a long time, and just kind of coming to terms with all of that, and I hope you like it. You plead for me to bleed for you and breathe for anything but free. But how do you cope with such a high dose of narcissistic tendencies? While you stepped on my words and nobody heard my intense critique. You painted me as deranged just so I'd remain yours forever to keep. From whence I became skin and bone, and you perceived it as a threat to your throne.
This isn't a courtroom. But how should I cope while walking a tightrope in every phrase I speak to you? While you stepped on my words so nobody heard my intense critique. You painted me as deranged just so I'd remain yours forever to keep. From whence I became skin and bone, and you perceived it as a threat to your throne. You're not a god and you're caught up in a facade of inconsistent thoughts and clusters of false designs. You're addicted to control and it's pathological how you never are okay with not being mine. You're just a specter from the inner depths of hell, and you think it's better when you think you're in control. But I'm a monster from the darker parts, and you know you'll regret everything you've ever done. Chewing me up, spitting me out, kicking me down and burning me up, yelling me out, throw me around, chewing me up and spitting me out. 'Cause I'll come back bigger, I'll come back hoarse, I'll come back terrifying, terrible like the devil, but worse. You don't scare me, and I'm not naive, 'cause you can't be a god if I don't believe.
And that's called You're Not a God, and that's out on anywhere you get your music from. It exists there. So the last song I want to play for you guys is called Nosedive. It's a fairly newer original song of mine, but it means a lot to me. It's one of my favorites I've ever written, and I just really wanted to include it in this set because I'm very, very, very honored to be here tonight. Ben is awesome. Also, if you guys aren't following this account, you should, so that way you'll get notified when another Amplified episode comes out. But yeah, this is called Nosedive, and I wrote it about people not loving you for the right reasons, I suppose, and realizing that, and I hope that you like it.
My molars will be glued together, shut so tight, and I will not quiver while you scream through your teeth that you wish you never met me. My weary eyes won't blink while the rapids begin, and crashing waves roughen up my skin. If there were some ribs I could fall into to soften my nosedive, I saw my own reflection in the back of the necklace you gave me. I looked so distorted, you asked what's so important about all this anyway. It didn't hurt being shallow boned, it hurt being loved. How was I so sensitive? How was he so blunt? How was he so pensive? How was I so lush? It was mistaken for love to be clouded in lust. It hurt being scolded. If there were some ribs I could fall into to soften my nosedive, I saw my own reflection in the back of the necklace you gave me. I looked so distorted. You asked what's so important about all this anyway. I could fall into to soften my nosedive, I saw my own reflection in the back of the necklace you gave me. I looked so distorted. You asked what's so important about all this anyway. It's taken me a while, but I'll say it with a smile that you're the worst kind of person I've ever laid eyes on.
And that's called Nosedive, and that's unreleased. So there's a little hint of what it might be like. But thank you so much, Ben, for having me on the show. Again, everyone, make sure to follow Amplified right here. And if you did like what you heard tonight, make sure to check out my Volume account, which is volume.tv/Amelia Rose, spelled just like this. And I will see you all on the streams. I hope you guys have a wonderful night and take care of yourselves. And again, Ben, thank you so much for having me. And good night, everybody.
Man, what a treat. Amelia Rose, man. So Thursday night, her single comes out, and that's going to be exciting, Goliath. We're ready for that. It'll be a Volume exclusive. So we have a great week ahead of us. We really appreciate you guys joining, being in the chat, helping us with our sound, and all the live support. It's been a lot of fun. So it's good to see everybody every week. And we're always tinkering with the format, so you never know what you're going to see here. Garrett Cathcart, thanks for joining us.
Dude, this is amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. It was a real pleasure to play that song and actually shred a little bit on Volume. Like I've been watching, so it's been really inspiring for me too to see everybody do it. So it's nice to kind of come to the table with something. This week we've got the Music City Mayhem Finals. Are going to be Thursday night, volume.com/lightning100. That's going to be very, very exciting. It's going to be live. So I think you can vote online as well. So stay tuned for that. We've also got the Tiny Stage coming in with their big show this Thursday, volume.com/tinystage. Thursday is going to be a big night, it looks like. And we have a special surprise performance by the Atlanta Pops Orchestra this week. So stay tuned for that. We'll be releasing more information about that as it comes. But until then, we'll see you out in the chat. And we are going to join Amelia Rose for her set very shortly. So get ready to rush. And thanks again for joining us on Amplified. We'll see you soon. Good night.